He was one of the first on the scene of a terrible bus crash in Tennessee just a few weeks ago. Now a doctor from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center sits down with us to share a story of heartbreak and heroes. Hard to believe that a trip to the historic Biltmore Estate in Ashville, North Carolina for a medical conference could be anything but beautiful. But suddenly on the drive along the way on Interstate 40 in Tennessee,
there was a big cloud of black smoke about a quarter-mile ahead.
As Dr. Fred Lucas, a pathologist, got closer, he could see
there was a giant fire and clearly an accident scene. A lot of mayhem and chaos. We pulled over to the side.
He did not hesitate, but rather rushed toward a scene of this accident. As these photos he snapped show,
there were no police at that point. There was no EMT. There were bodies all over the ground and a giant fire. It looked as though there was a semi-tractor trailer that was burning, and then what looked like a bus on its side that had been in the crash.
A church bus and a truck collided. The death toll would eventually be 8 people, mostly senior citizens. But Dr. Lucas says at the time,
it wasn't clear at all who was dead and who was alive. And so we, this truck driver and I, pulled one body back from the fire. It was exploding. It was diesel tanks that were exploding and burning.
He describes one woman he discovered as he moved through the wreckage to try and find those who were alive.
We pulled her back. She was alive. And she basically kind of raised up, looked us in the eye, and then died right in front of us. That was the hard part. That was the hardest. That's the one image I'll probably always remember.
That's quite a statement from a humble physician who did everything he could that day to save lives. He admits after spending much of his time for years working behind the scenes, it was a little out of his comfort zone. But he also said if he had to, he would do it all again.
Oh, yeah. That's just what people do, what you should do.
Dr. Lucas says the real heroes are the survivors and the first responders.
I will say that the EMTs were remarkable.
He says it also kind of reminds all of us how quickly life can change.
There's a finite quality about things, and that clearly happened here. And you asked the question.
Good reminder there for all of us. That crash still under investigation.